Here's Brody Brazil.
I now present to you 5 truths of the Shure SM7B microphone. And the backstory on this one goes like this. It was actually the first professional broadcast microphone that I ever purchased. This was before I even had the home YouTube studio. I was just needing something to create high quality audio content. I was doing a podcast at the time. I figured this would be an upgrade. I'll be perfectly honest with you. 5 years ago, I knew some about audio, but I didn't know anywhere near enough. I saw everybody else using this, so I did what a lot of people do. I went to peer pressure. I also purchased one, and I'm not unhappy with it, but there are some things in this video that I'll hope to spell out to you. 5 truths of the Shure SM7B. Before I get too deep into that, can I just say, while you're here on the channel, and if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you end up liking this video, by the very end of it, hit the thumbs up button. That'll help recommend it to more people here on YouTube so that they can also get some value out of this video. So let's begin with the 5 truths. Number 1, this microphone, it's listed as negative 59 dB of sensitivity, meaning that it needs about 59 dB of gain to power. But in my experience, truth is you really need to get this thing to closer to like 65 dB of gain, which is a ton, which is more than most users or their interfaces have. And to be perfectly honest, you know, it's one thing to set a recording volume that you can also boost in post, but it's a totally different thing where I've seen a lot of people using this microphone on a live stream. There's no such thing as boosting in post on a live stream. So you really need to power this microphone, whether it's your preamp, whether it's an audio mixer with a volume fader. I mean, this thing just needs a ton of power and quite honestly, a ton of gain going in. Now, I am using a Triton Audio FET head. Cloud lifters are also in play, but just understand that when you buy this microphone, it is very rare that the interface you're using alone will power it or power it properly. Again, there's 2 different things. If you have your interface turned up to 100 on this thing, you're going to hear a lot of hiss. You're going to hear a lot of self-noise. So that's important to know. Number 2 here in my truths, the switches on the back of this mic, which you can't see right here because of the end plate is screwed on, but the switches on back can help your sound. Now there's 2 switches. There's a presence boost and there's also a low cut filter. What I've found is that the low cut filter, like a lot of microphones for me, cuts a little bit too low, at least on voice, right? When you cut that thing, it's realistically upwards of 150 hertz. It takes all the bottom out of a voice. You sound very, very thin. So I don't know that I'd necessarily use it for me in that circumstance. Maybe if you're recording music or something else, it makes sense, but it can help. The other thing that can help, and I'm not engaging it here because I'm also running this through my own signal chain, but if you were not EQing your microphone, if you had no way to EQ it, it was straight from the mic into wherever it needed to be, you can actually flip the presence boost on, and it's going to help this mic significantly. Honestly, this one is not a great performer in the mids or the top end. I guess mid-range for a lot of the fundamentals, it's okay, but you're not getting a crispy sound necessarily ever from this mic as opposed to something like a condenser. But the switches on the back, the presence boost itself, it can definitely help the cause. Okay, I truly feel like this microphone sounds cleaner with no windscreen attached. There are 2 windscreen options that it comes with. How many mics even have that? One of them is fat. It's like a sock. I honestly don't know how it doesn't affect the sound. I think it does. It muffles the sound to me. So unless the only reason I would use that is if I was really, really, really close talking this mic, which by the way, this microphone is honestly better suited when you're all over it like this. This to me sounds better than being a traditional, you know, hang loose distance away. But I feel like, hang with me here, I feel like this mic sounds better when I took the wind foam off, windscreen, whatever I'm calling it. When I took this off, I feel like this sounds better. Do you think it sounds better? I do. Don't mean to make this an ASMR video, but here's how it sounds back with this on. Maybe it's the mids, maybe it's the highs. Now, when I take it off, I feel like it has a little bit more clarity and a little bit more definition. The problem is, who is going to record with this microphone and a steel exposed grill? You don't see this very often. You probably should see it more. I've seen recording studios when they use this mic, no windscreen. But again, most people are using this, and a lot of people are even using the fatter one as opposed to even this one, the thinner one. But I feel like it sounds cleaner without it. Okay, the next truth here is that this microphone certainly does come with the benefit that you don't need a shock mount for it. In fact, you can't really use anything else besides this yoke that it comes built in with. And again, if you're a person who is going to share this mic, or other people might be spitting a little bit on it when they talk, it is great to have external wind foam so you can take it off, put a different one on if you need, so that multiple people can close talk it hygienically and feel okay about it. So the fact that you don't need additional purchases here is great. Like I said, you probably are going to need a cloud lifter or a fed head, so consider that. And then last, but most importantly, definitely not least on this microphone, if I'm gonna talk loud on it, that's great. If I'm gonna sing on this mic, that's terrible. Then yes, this microphone does seem like a good one to have. Watching a lot of audio production, there's a reason this one gets used, especially with loud volumes and loud projections from a voice. But I really don't feel like if you're going to use this, now I am really all over this mic. I really don't feel like if you're going to be whispering or doing voice acting or voiceover, I really don't feel like this is the microphone for you. It does sound a bit muffled. And even when I take this off and I still, no, this is better. This is a lot better. But I still think this is not the mic for you if you're going to be doing voice acting, or if you're going to have any low type of volume, maybe an audiobook, because like I said, the highs aren't that crispy, won't be fatiguing on your ear, but long form narration, yeah, sure. But if it involves a lot of whispering and you really want the dynamics of the voice, maybe this one's just not for you. And not to knock it, there are plenty other purposes for it. Sorry, I popped it, but you understand my point. All right, so there you go. 5 truths about what honestly is a legendary and a very popular microphone, the Shure SM7B. Hopefully this helped you understand it a little bit better.